So, what does an online launch manager actually do? Well, in the basis sense, an online launch manager is simply the person that's taking a client and their team and leading them through the launch process. So, think about clients that are coaches or course creators, speakers, authors that are selling things like online group programs. They may be selling into masterminds or retreats. They may be the host of a virtual summit or conference. They may be doing live in-person events, or they may be selling digital products or physical products like books. And so anytime one of those business owners is taking one of those offers to market, they're launching it. And they need a team to support them through that process because even though they're really good at what they do, right? They're an amazing author, they're an incredible speaker, they're really great at content creation, but that doesn't mean they have the skill set or, quite frankly, the desire or the time or the energy to do all of the other things that are required to actually launch an offer. And so that's where a launch team comes in and a launch manager that acts as kind of the layer between the client and the team to make sure that the launch is getting executed successfully. And when I say launch manager, typically we're thinking of the person that is overseeing the execution of the launch, thinking about doing things like developing a timeline, mapping out a project plan, facilitating team communication, making sure we're like meeting our deadlines. Everybody knows who's what's doing what and by when, right? So that's the actual launch production. And that's what we think of when we think of a launch manager. However, there's also other layers of launch management that that come into play when we're doing a launch production. And those are services that you can actually layer in to your launch management offer to help clients in a different way. So we have the launch manager, and then we have this other layer of launch strategy. And so if you are including strategy as a launch manager, you're actually helping to develop the marketing strategy that's going to make the launch successful. So you're looking at what attraction tools are we using to get people attracted to the offer? How are we actually, what does the customer journey look like? Like, what is the strategy behind the journey that we're taking people through on the launch? And you can also strategize on things around team, around systems, tech, when you're including launch strategy in your launch management services. And then the other layer is the actual implementation. So there are a lot of launch managers that either still have their hands in launch implementation or they have a team that helps to facilitate the execution. So very often, like for me personally, I do launch strategy and management. I have a team, right? I have myself, I do the launch strategy, and then I have launch managers that actually help facilitate the day to day. But there are other launch managers who actually do support with the execution, or they have their own team that does the execution. So the client is essentially hiring the entire team to help produce the launch. So there's three different layers there. There's the launch strategy where you're helping to develop the marketing strategy around the launch and maybe systems and team strategy. There's launch management, which is overseeing the actual production of the launch. And then there's launch implementation, where you're helping also, in addition to the production, to actually executing and implementing the launch. Now, it's important to know these layers because you want to know how involved you want to be in a launch and also what your offer is going to look like. Like, how are you going to serve the clients and at what level do you want to do that? So hope that's helpful. And in the next training, we're going to talk about why you would even want to become an online launch manager.